Hey everybody! So today I want to do something fun and different. Well, it's not that different. It's a body scrub, a Neapolitan ice cream body scrub, but it's more like a novelty. Well, it's still functional, but I wouldn't say it like glides onto the skin as easy as other body scrubs. And we'll talk about that more later, but I wanted this formula to be hard enough to where it stays in its form and it looks exactly like ice cream, and to where all the colors will stay separate and they won't like blend together. So I had to have like some kind of structure, but it still had to be soft enough to be moldable and to be used as a body scrub, go onto the skin and everything. Basically, I'm obsessed with how it turned out, and now I want to make a lot more novelty body scrubs, so let me know if you want to see that. Also, guess what, guys? I finally launched a website. Go to my website, link down below, TaraLeeSkincare.com, and use code YouTube for 30% off. This is so much nicer than Etsy. Everything's organized so well. All my bulk items are all organized in different categories, or you can just shop all of them. If you didn't know, I sell my products in bulk and private label, so you can purchase them and then add your own brand's labels on them. I even sell in like larger containers, like 32-ounce container or 16-ounce container, so you can fill your own jars in case you don't like the jars or bottles that I use. So definitely make sure you go check out my website. Also, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell, and go check out all the other videos on my channel. I have so much content that you can binge watch. I'm going to be starting with phase A, and I'm making a 900 gram batch. I have 45 grams of glycerin and I have 36 grams of distilled water, and I'm going to be combining those two together. That's all we have in phase A. Just mix the two together, and that is it. Go ahead and set that to the side, and we can move on to phase B. For phase B, we have sodium cocoa isothionate, also known as SCI, and this is the powder version, 103.5 grams, and then 27 grams of cocamidopropyl betaine. And you want to gently mix the two together. And you also want to make sure that you're wearing a respirator. I put a little clip of one up on the screen because I forgot to record a clip of my respirator, but you want to make sure you wear one of those when working with SCI. Also, this is where things almost went wrong. When I did a smaller test batch, I actually had enough cocoa betaine to make the SCI kind of like, I was looking for kind of like a hard putty texture. I don't really know how to describe it, but it wasn't enough liquid. So I ended up having to add in a little bit of phase A into it. And I just kept mixing, adding more phase A until I got the texture that I wanted. And yeah, you want a really dry, hard putty texture. That's the best way I can describe it. And it is going to be hard to mix, but you just gotta do your best, because you don't want too much liquid. You want way more SCI. So this is about the final texture you want. I don't know, is a hard putty texture? I don't know, you tell me, but that's just what it looks like. And when we go to heat this up, because we're going to be heating up all three phases, phase A, B, and C, it'll soften up and it'll be easier to work with. Anyways, put that to the side. Now we're going to work on phase C, and all phase C has is 90 grams of stearic acid. This is the hardener. Now, what we're going to do is go back to phase A. I'm grabbing my scale and I'm putting phase A on my scale, and I'm going to write down how much it weighs, because when we heat up everything, some of the water in this will evaporate and we'll have to add that back in. All right, so now we have all three of our phases. You want to heat them up in a water bath. Just fill a pan with some water, place those in, and let them all heat to get around the same temperature. You want the stearic acid to be completely melted, and the SCI just needs to be soft and easy to, it's pliable. It'll just soften up a lot as it heats, and you'll have to mix it a bit as it's heating up. And then again, you just want to make sure you go back and weigh phase A again and add in any water that evaporated. All right, now that everything's heated and melted around the same temperature, pour phase A into phase C. And this is why we have the water and glycerin separate. We just want to get the stearic acid and phase A mixed together first. And I just went ahead and just hand mixed it with a whisk a little bit. And then I went ahead and poured in my phase B. This was a little difficult. It was definitely a lot harder this time than it was in the tester batch. As you scale up your formulas, always expect things to go wrong, because yeah, it happens. I ended up making it work out, luckily, with this formula, but yeah, you can just see how hard it is to get that phase B to mix in. It wasn't this hard when I made the smaller test batch, but it ended up working out. Basically, you just want to keep mixing it in until the SCI and the cocoa betaine just kind of melts in with the rest of the ingredients. And every once in a while, I had to like pick out everything from the whisk. Yeah, because it was just like chunking up. And then eventually, once it was all mixed, I did hand mix it a bit. And this is how she's looking. And yes, I do need a bigger spatula. Don't worry. I ordered one on Amazon. It's already here because I recorded this video quite a while ago. And I'm just now getting around to editing it. But yeah, here is what it will look like at this time. Kind of looks like fluffy mashed potatoes. And now I want mashed potatoes. All right, so now here at this stage in its life, it's around like 85 degrees Fahrenheit. And you can tell it has hardened up quite a bit. But that's just how it is, okay? So now we're moving on to phase D. I have 4.5 grams of Liquid Dermal Plus in this beaker. So I'm putting some of the scrub in the beaker to kind of like scrape out that Liquid Dermal Plus because this bowl's too heavy to put on my scale, so I couldn't just add the Liquid Dermal Plus right in. So I had to weigh the Liquid Dermal Plus in a separate container and then pour it in. But the Liquid Dermal Plus is thick, so it's hard to pour, so I had to add the scrub into the beaker. I hope you guys understand what I'm doing. Anyways, now I'm adding in 585 grams of white granulated sugar. But I'm only adding in a little bit at a time. I think I did about 100 grams at a time and then mixing it in because the scrub base is pretty hard, so it is kind of hard to mix it in. And I hand mixed it a bit, then I mixed it with an electric hand mixer, and then I was like, you know what, screw all that. I'm just going to literally hand mix it and use my hands. So I just got in there, started mixing with my hands, and it was just turning out beautiful. I was loving the texture I was getting. And yeah, I just added more sugar, kept mixing it. And the whole time I was editing this, my boyfriend was sitting there watching going, are you making mashed potatoes? I get it. I get why he thinks it looks like mashed potatoes. And it literally made me think of making an entire Thanksgiving dinner out of sugar scrub because I literally think I can do it. I don't know. Is that my toxic trait, thinking I can make an entire Thanksgiving dinner out of sugar scrub? Maybe. But just look at this. Like, it packs so well together. You can't tell me I can't mold a Thanksgiving turkey out of that. I feel like I could do it, but I'm not going to do it because I'm not going to have time for that. But anyways, that's how she looks at this stage of her life at this point. Now we're going to be dividing her up into 3 parts. You can weigh it out like I did. Even though I did do this, they didn't end up being equal parts, I don't think. I don't know. I tried to make them equal. Apparently, I don't know. I think I mathed wrong. But yeah, just divide it up into 3 equal parts. And you're going to add 3 grams of chocolate fragrance oil in one, 3 grams of strawberry fragrance oil in another, and then 3 grams of vanilla fragrance oil because obviously Neapolitan ice cream, right? Then I'm using ballet slippers. This is from Mad Mica. It's ethically sourced mica, don't worry. And I'm adding that in to the strawberry one. And then I'm going to be using this Summer Bronze Mica. Again, it's ethically sourced from Mad Mica for the chocolate one. And I'm mixing this one first. And really, I didn't know what to expect here. I didn't test out the colors. So I just kept adding in a little bit, then mixing it in by hand. And honestly, it'd be best to add the mica in with the fragrance oil. That would actually get it to mix in easier. But I wasn't sure how much I was going to need. So, you know, I didn't like this color here. Actually, this color would be good for like a chocolate chip cookie. But I wanted to add in some Tall, Dark, and Handsome. That's also ethically sourced from Mad Mica. I added that in and that got the exact color I was looking for. Here we are. Chocolate ice cream brown. I love it. And I packed it into a little ball like that. Just like, look at that texture. Like, you cannot say that this doesn't give you so much inspiration to make things out of this scrub. Like, I want to make a cake. I want to make so many things now. Anyways, moving on. We're going to mix up the strawberry one. And I knew this color was going to turn out perfect because I make pink everything. So I don't really have anything to say here. But it was really fun, like, making this. I felt like I was, like, baking, and I hate baking and cooking, but I like formulating. So now I just went to make baked goods out of sugar scrub. And as you can see, like, the texture is still very, like, pliable, even though it's, like, hard. What does it remind? Play-Doh. It feels like Play-Doh. I think that's a good, yeah, that's a good comparison. And then white, yeah, we didn't have to do anything to her because she's vanilla, she's white, and we just had to mix in the vanilla fragrance oil. Alrighty, so I'm going to cover all 3 of these and I'm going to let them sit overnight. Actually, I ended up letting them sit for like almost a week. But this is the texture after about a week. They didn't change in texture, which I was so happy about. I thought they were going to get a bit harder, but no. But what sucks is that they weren't as like scoopable as I wanted them to be. It also could be because like there's barely any in this bowl, you know, it just keeps moving around. So basically you kind of got to like pack it into your ice cream scoop, like what I'm doing, and then kind of like cleaning up the edges a bit. But it literally looks like ice cream. But it's definitely not as like scoopable as the ones I've posted on my Instagram and I posted on YouTube, but it still looks like ice cream. Look at that. You can't tell me you don't want to eat that. I mean, if you don't like chocolate, you probably don't want to, but yum. Anyways, these are just real cones. I actually should have just molded cones out of sugar scrub because I think I can do that. Maybe, I don't know if it'll work, but yeah, these are just real cones. And then yeah, the strawberry one, that was actually easier to scoop because it was a smaller bowl. And I think that's what my problem is. I think I just needed to make a bigger batch. This one's my favorite. This one's making me hungry right now. I want it. And then the vanilla, this was the easiest to scoop because it was in the smallest bowl. And there she is. Yum. And I was actually thinking that you could probably like gift this to somebody and like wrap it in like plastic with like a little bow on top. I think it'd be a cute gift. Or you could stack all three of the colors like I did. I realized I needed to just like push down on the ice cream scoop like that. Like see how I pushed down there? And it got it to pack better. And I ended up kind of like pushing them all down with my hand to get it to pack really nice. But yeah, you could package this in like plastic and give it to a friend as like a little gift. Whatever you want to do, I don't know. I figured this would give you some inspiration. Then I blended all three of the colors together, which was so nerve-wracking. I didn't want to ruin it. Like I was so nervous doing this because I'm like, did I record everything I wanted to record before mixing them all together? Anyways, I mixed them all together. I figured this would be hard to get like a perfect scoop of all three colors. It was difficult, but it ended up working out beautifully and I was so happy about it. Yeah, I just wish this was like in like an ice cream tub and there was like a whole bunch of it. It'd be so much easier to scoop and it wouldn't be like going everywhere. But yeah, there is my first Neapolitan scoop. My second one, that one really looked like ice cream. And then there's the third. There she is. You want to lick? Nope, you can't. It's body scrub. Sorry. Anyways, it's late when I'm doing this voiceover. But anyways, in case you want to package this in a jar like a normal body scrub, I would just do like Neapolitan scoops and then package them into a jar like I did. And then there you go. Now you got like a whole mixture of Neapolitan ice cream. Or you can lay them out evenly in a row. I don't know, whatever you want to do. But yeah, there's me scooping it. That's about what the texture looks like. I don't know how I got a perfect scoop of like chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry there, but it worked out. And it's like more difficult to spread, but it's definitely spreadable. But it's just like harder. It's definitely Play-Doh texture. Best way to describe it. Okay, so actually going about using this, it reminds me a lot of exfoliating sugar cubes if you've ever used those. Since this is like so hard, it sort of just sticks to your hand. And you just kind of massage it onto your body and it stays on your hand. It doesn't like spread throughout your skin. So you want to make sure your part of your body is very wet as you're massaging it in. And you want to make sure you're continuously exposing your body to water, the area you're exfoliating, and that's what's going to activate the lather and foam. If you don't have water, it won't lather and foam. And this scrub only has a small amount of water in it, so on its own it really won't activate the foam. It'll just look more milky. So you got to make sure you have water on your skin as well, and it'll lather up and bubble up very, very nicely. So that is the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this formula. Don't worry, I'll be doing much more body scrub formulas. I am just continuously getting requests for more body scrub formulas. Literally, I have so many in the works, so don't worry, they'll be coming. Thanks so much for watching. You all are awesome. Don't forget to subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. If you're still here at the end of the video, you're literally the best ever. Thanks so much, and I'll talk to you guys later.
I'm stuck in the so